Back again on the Code Garden YouTube channel. Don't forget to prepare your headset to listen to this novel. And help support this channel by liking and subscribing. And click the bell for the latest update info. Share this story with your friends. Keep listening to this novel. Chapter 3. Several people in black robes immediately appear in the room. The men carried a ball made of crystal in their hands. The disciples immediately became confused, looking at this cloaked person who suddenly came to the throne room. The king immediately said, looking at the puzzled disciples, "No need to panic. They are all the wizards of the kingdom. They will help you unlock your status with the crystal ball. If your status has been opened, you only need to say, 'Open status,' to see your status. But the status you can see is only the status of your job. You need an analysis expert if you see an even more complete status. You don't need much money to see your status through analytical experts." Upon hearing that, these disciples nodded immediately. An old man in a black robe immediately came forward among the cloaked people and said, "Well, you can go forward now and put your hands on the crystal ball. After that, you can already see the status you have, both job and ability." "Well, I'll try first," the male teacher said as he watched the other students become hesitant. The male teacher immediately came to the front of a man in a robe holding a crystal ball. He immediately put his hand on the crystal ball, and then the crystal ball immediately showed a bright light. Then the lights immediately disappeared after a while, and the wizard in the black robe shouted, "Great! You have the job of a Dragon Knight Master. Truly a hero." "Dragon Knight Master?" the male teacher said in confusion. After all, what he knew from the Dragon Knight was the fighter who boarded the dragon. But what does he mean, Master? General Levi immediately said excitedly, "Dragon Knight Master. That means you can control dozens of dragons at once. You can even bring other people who are not Dragon Knights to board yours. The Dragon Knight Master can even control a much more powerful dragon. Even controlling a sea-level dragon is not a problem if your level is already high enough." "Sea level?" the male teacher immediately asked again in confusion. "It seems that I forgot to tell you guys," said General Levi, and then said again, "In this world, whether it is the ability, the ranking of a person and a monster is divided into classes. From high to low are SSS, SS, S, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H, but abilities and people who have strength above S grade are scarce. Even people or monsters who have SSS levels have never existed. The current sulfur monosulfide level ability only exists in the Demon King. H-level monsters are at levels 1 to 10, G-level monsters are at levels 10 to 20, F-level monsters are at levels 20 to 30. E-rank monsters are at levels 30 to 40, D-rank monsters are at levels 40 to 50, C-rank monsters are at levels 50 to 60, B-rank monsters are at levels 60 to 70, A-rank monsters are at levels 70 to 80. S-rank monsters are at level 80 to 90, SS-rank monsters are at level 90 to 100, SSS-rank monsters are at level 100 and above. Likewise, with humans, if you are a level 65 wizard, it means that you are a B-level wizard." The male teacher nodded immediately and then said again, "If I can only ride the C-rank dragon, it means that the dragon level is only at level 50 to 60. Isn't it a little weak if it fights the Demon King?" General Levi immediately smiled and said, "You can only catch such a level dragon. But it doesn't mean that the dragon that has already been captured can't level up. The dragon will be able to level up again by sharing experience points with you. The main peculiarity of the Dragon Knight Master's job is the number of dragons you can capture. You can catch dozens of dragons. If your dragon reaches level 60 and above, you can become a very feared person on the battlefield. Thinking of the dozens of level 60 dragons attacking me, then I might be able to die. That great? Aren't you level 85? How could dozens of level 60 dragons beat you? The male teacher asked in confusion. Dragons are unique monsters, Captain Levi said, and then explained again. Dragons have much stronger power than monsters or living things of the same level. So, it is not a problem for a level 60 dragon to defeat a level 65 enemy other than a dragon. If those level 60 dragons just don't themselves, even if they're 5 dragons, then I can fight them. But if it's dozens, then I will die. Therefore, cooperation is crucial. And you can fight enemies of a much higher level by working together. But some things can't be passed even if they cooperate. For example, if 10,000 level 1 people fight the Demon King, those level 1 people must be dead. So level is also essential. After General Levi finished explaining, the king immediately stood up and said, "If you have reached a level above 30, then I, as the king, will appoint you to be the captain of the Royal Dragon Knight. If you reach a level above 60, I will appoint you as a Dragon Knight General. If you reach a level above 80, you can become the leader of the entire Dragon Knight army in the kingdom. Thank you, Your Majesty," said the male teacher, knowing that the king appreciated him. Because if someone becomes the leader of the Dragon Knight in the kingdom, it means that the person's status is very high, and it may not be inferior to the head of the land warrior of the entire kingdom. Your Majesty appreciates your talent. After all, there is currently no Dragon Knight master in the kingdom. Only one had been a master of the Royal Dragon Knights in the past, but now the person is too old, and his age is up. But while he was still alive, with this job, he was invincible in the Battle of the Sky with dozens of dragons, said General Levi. After that, the rest of the disciples began to come forward and look at their status. Some didn't get great jobs like Dragon Knight Masters, but they still had promising careers, such as warriors, wizards, healers, and others. The current Seraph immediately advanced and touched the crystal ball. A light immediately came into view and disappeared from the crystal ball. The wizard who saw the crystal ball was taken aback and shouted, "What? You have the job of a sage? What?" The old man in the black robe was immediately surprised to hear this. Sage is a job similar to that of a wizard. But Sage is much more powerful than wizards and has far more power and knowledge. Therefore, Sage can be called the most potent wizard. The king laughed happily and said, "According to the so-called heroes, there are even people who have jobs as sages. With the power you have, we can defeat the demon army." After the king finished saying, a shout in the throne room immediately sounded again, which shocked the whole person in throne room. "What? You are a hero? You have a job as a hero?"